Maranatha, you've been a bad, bad people. You support fascism. ANTIFA. I know you can hear me. Maranatha, you guys sat there and didn't let cop watchers speak. You didn't let Haley Adams speak. And anyone that Antifa didn't like, you either let them cross them off the list or you cut their time short. This is a country of free speech. We're supposed to be free to speak. You intentionally stopped cop watchers and right wing from speaking. That was very bad of you. You let fascists run around in black and face masks, harass innocent people in your parking lot. But you think that's all right. You think censorship is all right. You sit there and assist Antifa in their illegal activities in your church area. Maranatha Church. You shouldn't be having the city come out and speak like that. You shouldn't let people get jumped in your sanctuary, and you shouldn't let people get pushed around. This church is a church of Satan. How can you say you're God-fearing when you let Antifa come in and push people around? How can you do that? Maranatha Church, I'm here to tell you that you're 100% wrong in the meeting. Yes, I know you can hear me. Maranatha Church, you guys support fascism. You guys support people beating people up. You support elderly people getting beat up, and you support the groups that do it. Antifa is a domestic terrorist group, and you let them just run around like they're nothing. They stood on your handicapped walkway and harassed people as they were going into the church. When people came out, they harassed people coming out, made threats on your property, and that's all right. Well, I'm here to say no, it's not. A lot of people won't stand up against you because you're a church. I will. Because I recognize the difference between a God-fearing church and a money-grubbing church. Your congregation should not support this. The city came out here, you had people shoving, you had people pushing people inside and outside your sanctuary. That's not cool. You had people making threats. You had people cussing people out in your sanctuary. And you guys just let it happen. As long as it was people pushing around right-wingers, that's all right. But when the right-wingers stood up, oh, the right-wingers got to go. The same people that you're supporting don't support you. Why did you censor the known right-wingers? Haley Adams, me. Mike Bluehair's not a right-winger, but you guys crossed him off the speaking list too.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
All right. You allow people to go in your sanctuary during that meeting and cuss people out. You allowed someone to walk in there with 666 on their shirt.
I understand what you're saying.
People need to learn that violence is not the thing. You allowed people to push people around in the sanctuary and harass them going in and out of the church. And to you, that's all right. That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You claim to be a Christian church, you need to be a Christian church. Let everyone speak. You guys didn't do that. One guy was cut off 30 seconds short because he was speaking something that you guys didn't want to hear. He was speaking about how patriots of prayer are not racist. You guys had a transgender that was harassed in there. Well, the transgender was sitting there wanting to listen and speak. That was not acceptable. But it was ANTIFA, so that was all right. You guys cannot allow such activities to go on in your church and not expect cop watchers to come out and say, hey, that's wrong. I don't care what church it is. I don't care what they speak. You start censoring cop watchers and I will come out. We have just as much to say as anyone else. In fact, me and Mike had even better things to speak on than what the people spoke on. All the people that were speaking was speaking of hate. They're speaking of hate in your church. They're speaking of hate in your sanctuary. And you guys think that's all right. I'm here to say it's not. Hate is not good. You allow people to go over and shove people, push people, and harass people in your parking lot. That was not acceptable. And you can sit there and say that it's someone else's fault, but it was your church that it happened at. You are responsible for what happens inside your church. Why was someone allowed in there with 666 on their coat? And he was allowed in your sanctuary. You had people that wanted to speak that had their names crossed off the list. Well, I couldn't speak then, so I'm speaking now. I think it's fair that I give my say. Because what you guys allowed when the city came over and did their meeting was totally ridiculous. You allowed terrorists dressed up in black with black masks on to harass innocent people. But due to their ANTIFA, that's all right. The same people that beat up elderly people, that harassed elderly people down at the ICE center. That went around and did thousands of dollars in damage right after President Trump was elected. And that's all right because it didn't happen to your church. I'm sure if they're out here in your parking lot pushing people around, you'd have a different opinion on it. Censorship is wrong. It's supposed to be wrong. And you as a church shouldn't allow that. You as a church shouldn't allow people in black and masks harassing innocent people going in and out of your church. I don't care if the police chief was here or not. I had things to say, Mike had things to say, Keith had things to say. But if we're cop watchers, we're crossed off the list. Haley was crossed off the list. Anyone that they thought was right-wing was taken off the list. If they didn't know it and the person got up and speak, so do it. But the known people, the activists, were crossed off the list. But the activists on Antifa side was not crossed off the list. Now, how's that sound and look? You had people in black masks and black clothes harassing people from the time they walked in to the time they left. You had a guy walk into your sanctuary with 666 on his coat.
Hi, what's going on?
Oh, they censored cop watchers. During the city meeting, they made it where none of the cop watchers were able to speak. There was people that was pushed around when they left. There's people pushed around in your sanctuary. There's people cussing in your sanctuary.
I wasn't here that night, but we have a service going on now.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Can you let the
No.
pastor preach?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll be praying for you.
Okay.
Why are you doing this now, though?
Because this is when the church service is.
Can you wait for afterward when people come out to talk?
No.
Oh.
Censorship is wrong. You censored cop watchers and you censored Haley Adams.
I think those people are the ones that are here, though, that you're accusing.
Well, the church is responsible for what happens on their property.
They're very kind and loving people.
Well, they might be very kind and loving, but I had like 12 anarchists or 12 Antifa chased me to my car. I had Haley Adams was pushed and shoved in there.
I'm sure no one here was involved in that.
Well, it happened on your church. It happened at your church.
It wasn't. I believe they were.
If they don't like that kind of activity in their church, they shouldn't have city meetings in their church. If you don't like that kind of stuff, you shouldn't have city meetings in your church.
Go home for now.
I shouldn't. I need to do exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's protest outside your church. That's to let your church know that censorship is wrong. You should have stood by the cop watchers and let everyone go through, including the ones